Hey guys, it's Slats, and welcome back to Ask Slats, the series in which you guys submit me questions or topics using the Google form link down below, and I talk about them. For today's topic, we have, Hey Slats, I wanted to say your videos have been getting me better and better. I just wanted to ask you something. What does it mean to love? I've been in a happy relationship for about a couple weeks, and I'm definitely in love with them, and they love me back. But it's like at times I feel scared. Would they leave me like my past, or would they stay? Sometimes I feel like I'm paranoid. Love is trusting, so am I loving wrong? Feels like I just can't do anything right in relationships. So first off, just want to thank you for submitting this question, and also I'm very happy to see that you've been enjoying my videos and feel like they've been helping you. But to start off, I noticed when you said I'm definitely in love with them and they love me back, but that's something I catch myself saying often when I'm talking about, this sort of topic, because I do catch myself kind of questioning, whether people actually like me or not, if they actually care about me, which, most of the time it's just my brain playing kind of tricks on me and being annoying. But, whenever I'm talking about this feeling to people, I always kind of word it like that, where it's like, oh, I know they care about me, but. And that's how I kind of know that my brain is just playing tricks on me, because I'm saying, oh, I know they like me, but. And it's like, what's the excuse? Why are you doubting yourself? And obviously, there could be valid reasons as to why you think this. And I think that's kind of the process you need to go through when these thoughts come up. Is there any actual reason as to why I'm having this thought right now? When the thought pops in your head of you questioning, if they actually care about you, think about if there's an actual reason, if they've been showing any sort of signs that they might not. And I feel like most of the time, at least for me, I can't come up with a reason. I usually have these thoughts after I've been hanging out with people and I come home, I'm about to go to sleep, and it's like quiet and I'm kind of in my head about a lot of stuff. And I'm just questioning, the way I acted, the way I talked to people. I'm like, oh, what if they thought I was weird? What if they didn't like when I said this? Oh, what if they don't like me anymore? What if they cut me off? And I just start spiraling. But when I actually kind of sit back and ask the question myself, it's like, okay, did they show any signs of them not caring about me? And most of the time, I can't find a reason. And that kind of helps my brain, because it's always trying to find some sort of answer to it. And obviously, sometimes my brain keeps spiraling. It's like, oh, what if they're not telling you? Oh, what if they're just good at hiding it? But I feel like if you just take a moment to just ask that question and just really think about it, I feel like most of the time I'm not able to come up with an answer. Now, there might be a case where you do have an answer for it. And if that is actually, a factor, then maybe you should bring it up with the person and talk about it with them. But I don't think having those thoughts means that you don't love them or trust them. I think it's just something that happens to some people. And especially, you mentioned in this question where it's like, I feel scared. Would they leave me like my past? So I'm assuming you might have had previous relationships where people have left you. And I think that definitely would have an impact on, trust issues and stuff like that, which might be the reason as to why you have these thoughts. But I think to that, you have to realize that every person is different. Not every person is, your previous partner. Not every person is going to treat you like your previous partner did. I've heard stories before of people who have been cheated on, for example, and when they get into their next relationship, they're super paranoid that, this current partner is going to do the same thing. And I feel like it could potentially negatively affect, the new relationship, because the person is trying to prevent that from happening so much, where they'll be like, oh, I need your location. Oh, where are you going? Oh, who are you with? And kind of hyper fixating on the idea that this person is going to cheat on me again, which I don't blame them entirely, because, getting cheated on, for example, is I can't even imagine how that would feel. I feel like that would be, the ultimate trust breaker, especially with someone that you really do care about. But it's also not fair to your partner, because your partner is not, as I said, your ex. I feel like communication is the most important thing in a relationship, in any kind of relationship, and it could be extremely uncomfortable and difficult. And I struggle to do it. I'm not, out here, talking about every single emotion that I feel with people, even though I probably, should in certain situations. Just talk through it, and I think that conversation alone will allow you to feel more of that trust with your partner, and just kind of helping with the doubts that, may come into your mind. And then your last point here is when you say, I just can't do anything right in relationships. I don't know what you entirely mean by this, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like this is just something that, you just type this question and you're just like, oh, I feel like I'm just terrible at relationships and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe there's more to this than just what you submitted, but I feel like, if you're just focusing on this, I don't think this is, the thing that you're not doing right in a relationship. I feel like a lot of other people have had, similar thoughts to this as well, whether it's in a romantic relationship, a friendship, or, any kind of relationship, I guess. And as I said, sometimes it's for valid reasons. Sometimes, people don't feel appreciated. People feel like they're being treated poorly and stuff like that. But other times it's just your brain. And I feel like for me personally, it's kind of based on that fact that, I'm kind of an insecure person. I do care very deeply about how people think of me, how they perceive me. I want them to like me, obviously. And I feel like that is the reason why I have those thoughts of, oh, what if they don't actually like me? Oh, what do they think of this? And I feel like, I'm not here to say why the reason that is for you, but I feel like when you mention, your past and, your exes, maybe that's the reason why. Maybe that's why, you're having these doubts because something, bad happened in your previous relationship. And this is kind of, I guess, reminding you of that. But yeah, overall, I think when these thoughts come into your head, I think you need to kind of think about the question and think about if there's any actual, reason as to why you're having these thoughts. Has your partner been showing, any signs of why these thoughts might possibly, be true? And I do think you should talk to your partner about maybe your trust issues and how you're trying to work to improve it. And I also think you should really tell yourself that this person is their own person. They're not your ex. So I think that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys have any questions or topics you would like me to talk about, feel free to submit them down in the Google form down below. If you did enjoy, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.